Welcome. We're just going to jump right in. By way of introduction, my name is Danny Ross, and I'm going to be your host tonight for the AI App in 1 Hour webinar series. We're actually doing a series of lessons. The third one is on AI lead generation, outreach, and conversion. If you were on the lunchtime session, it is going to be very similar to that, plus a little bit on the general introduction to AI. I like to always do at the 7 p.m. session. Again, if you were on earlier in the day, go ahead and drop a one in the chat just so I can identify who was already here and tailor my content accordingly. One of the things that we do here in the AI app in 1 hour sessions are really hit really real world topics. I like to focus in on things that are going to grow your business. If you are new to AI or if you have an existing, you're working for someone, you can use all of these techniques as part of that as well. Tonight, we're going to talk about the third lesson and we'll do a little review as we go along. By way of introduction, I've been doing this for over 30 years, started this company, Digital Express AI, about 2 years ago, early 23. It's been a fun 2 year ride, and we're just going to keep building upon all of the momentum that we've been working. From a business strategy point of view, we are looking today at the challenge of how to follow up, how AI can help you with that task, how AI can make sure you have that perfect persona that you can utilize to grow your business. These are who you're going to target for your leads and prospecting, and then add AI to solve this real world problem of the follow up and the conversions. That's the target here. First thing you got to do is identify and find the right persona or avatar, the person who you're going to target. And then you start that conversation with them, email, text, SMS, voice, doesn't matter how you reach out to them, posting, advertising, as long as you reach out to them. And then once they respond in any way meaningful, you do want to follow up with them. If they don't respond, you want to follow up even more, right? But you want to be consistent in how you do both of those things. And then, of course, it's the conversion. When we did the model one part of this exercise, we talked about the content, right? The second one, we worked on the lead magnets and list building. And then this one is about the lead generation and actual outreach and automation. These are the four models that we're doing. Next week will be, of course, model four. The recording didn't work, so I'm going to have to re-record that just in case anybody was wondering. I'm going to have to re-record that one and put that out as an update. All right, post-it notes, calendars, tons of things that we as entrepreneurs deal with on a daily basis. My email, I have some 3,000 unread emails because of all the spam and everything. Even with the spam filters, it's ridiculous, right? Things can get lost. It's really important that we do focus in on using AI, using automation to kind of address that particular issue. And in this case, we're talking about finding leads, personalization, automated follow-up, and conversion actions. To do any of this, we need a kind of a core basic. That's the topic for today's lessons. What I want to do right now is take a step back. And for new people that are on here, if this is your very first time, please go ahead and put a one in the chat. Also, put a two in the chat just so I can differentiate. I want to touch on the core thing that I teach every 7 p.m. session. If you have already seen it, go ahead and take a sip on that part. I mean, you might have missed the introduction. I was speaking about what this lesson is going to be about. It's going to be about lead generation, automation, follow up, those types of things. Let's keep rolling. What is AI? This is something I teach every week. It's the ability for you to, to understand this is really, really important. There's lots of free courses, and we're getting ready to launch a resource hub on Digital Express AI.ai. In about a week or so, we'll have 20 to 40 links for all kinds of free AI training, but there's a lot of really good training out there that's free. That kind of enhances our understanding of general AI. Really quickly, started with what we call machine learning, large mainframes, multi-million dollar systems. IBM was the king at that time. From those models, they added supervised machine learning, where You start to have humans interacting, working with the patterns to help guide. It's a little more human in that interaction. And finally, where we are today, which is generative AI, large language models like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, etc. Those are all generative. They're conversational. They have basically learned everything on the internet, super knowledgeable in the sense that it essentially has ingested the internet. It's not smart yet. They're working on it. Give them another year or so, and the AI will actually be truly smart, if you want to use a definition, right? So, where we are right now, the next thing we're going to talk about is, can you communicate effectively with AI? We are going to show you some techniques, specifically the create method. If we want to talk about the flavors of AI, generative AI, I just mentioned some of those names: Gemini, Siri. Specialized AI, meaning that they're focused on producing a certain type of results, in this case, text to image or text to video, text to music. Finally, personalized AI, where you build your own AI chatbot that you're going to put on your website. The BuildBiz.ai platform helps you do that by going into creating what's called a knowledge base, training that AI bot on that knowledge of your business and so on. And then you can take the code, drop it on your website. Immediately you have something that can answer questions 24 hours, 7 days a week. And there's tons and tons of examples of those kind of no code AI tools in there. You can create videos, you can create music, you can create all kinds of fun things. New AI, newest and latest and greatest is AI agents, where essentially you give it a task or a goal and it goes off and just really all by itself creates and it comes back to you. If it has questions, it'll ask. But in general, you launch it in a direction and it just keeps working. Agents is the latest and greatest. If you're in chat GPT world with OpenAI, they have agents that can go shopping for you. Today, we're going to talk about an agent that can help you with your outbound marketing. Actually, it'll do both outbound and inbound. So those are the types of things that we're going to touch on today. Key concept in this is the AI super self, which is you plus the playbook that we're going to teach you, plus AI equals your AI super self. This makes you effectively irreplaceable. Whether you're working for someone or you are your own company or organization, you're part of a core team and you're growing your business, this makes you the irreplaceable one. It's your knowledges, your knowledge, your experiences, personality, vision, you name it, the humanity in you combined with AI. That's how you get to your AI super self. So let's touch on the create method, which is effectively power prompting, super prompting, any of the above. The replay will be available and you can go watch it. I want to cover a lot of stuff today. The create method is where you set the context, who you invite to the conversation, the thread that you're having with the chatbot, whether it is, I want to bring in Steve Jobs so I can talk about technology, or Warren Buffett because I want to discuss investing. Whoever you are, you can say to the AI, you are such and such, and it'll take on that role. So that's setting the context for who you want to help you with your particular task or project. Next thing you want to do is be extremely specific on what you want as a result, whether it's 5 emails that you're going to use for marketing, an outline for a book, whether it is a script for your next play, whether it is a marketing plan as you go forth and conquer the universe as an entrepreneur. You want to be really clear and you want to be wider in your breadth of your explanation. You can say to it, hey, I want a detailed version of that, or I want a summary of this. I want you to compare and contrast. I want you to critique this writing that I've just done. And it's funny because there's a war on right now where you can humanize. There's tools in the BuildBiz.ai platform where you can humanize the content. It sounds more human, even though an AI has written it. Now you have AI detection tools that can detect if it's AI versus AI that supposedly humanizes it a little bit better. I see some new people just jumped on. Let me drop my links in the chat here again. This is how you can contact me. The first link is for the BuildBiz.ai platform, the one I'm referring to. That platform also has a lot of training videos. You can also find us on YouTube under Digital Express AI. We have a channel there, which is where all these recordings are put as well. We're kind of everywhere. We are really and truly going to be doing a lot in January to expand our footprint. And so you're going to see us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have plans. This is where you get even more specific. You drill down and tell it exactly what it is that you're looking for. Okay. Now, this is a really important part of the create method. It's the audience that you're targeting because you want the content to be accessible for whoever your target personas and audience is. You're saying, I'm focusing on business owners, men, women, young adults. I'm doing a book for children. So, whatever your target audience is, make sure your content is accessible to that one. And if there is anything else I can tell you, it is tone matters. You can say, I want it to be persuasive or salesy. I want it to be professional. It's my thesis. I want you to help me write, critique what I've written already and make it sound more professional. Or I want it to be emotional. I'm writing a book, that kind of thing. You can ask AI whenever it's producing something or critiquing something, remixing something for you to include those tones. And you can use tones of famous people. If you're doing something funny, you can say, I want it in the tone of Kevin Hart. That is the idea. I'm writing a funny script for a movie in the tone of Kevin Hart. Here's what I've written so far. Help me make it even better. And then finally, whatever it gives you, you are the human in the equation. You need to review it. Apply your knowledge and expertise on the subject if you are the subject matter expert. If not, at least read it to make sure it seems accurate. If you're not sure, ask it for its sources. AI can hallucinate. And that's the technical term for it, where it just makes stuff up if it doesn't know. AI, if you want it to not do that, you have to give it specific instructions. If you do not know, first cite your sources, and then if you don't know, don't make something up. Just tell me you don't know. All right. It's really important that you control the output, review it. Don't just post it, whatever it gives you. Okay. Here's an example of a prompt. You are an Amazon best-selling author. I want you to help me write an outline for a book, summarizing all the ways that the BuildBiz.ai platform can help successful entrepreneurs grow their business even faster using AI. Make the tone inspirational. And so here's what that prompt looks like. You are a New York Times best-selling author. Write a chapter-by-chapter outline for a book, summarizing the 5 steps that business owners can take advantage of. Make it inspirational in tone. And if you follow this formula, you will have a lot of success in getting the best out of any large language model. Doesn't matter what flavor, whatever one you're communicating with. Okay. So let's jump right back into the lesson. Now that we've got a foundation, what we want to do is use AI to help us in our search for the perfect prospect. So what we first thing we have to do is clearly define what that is and who that is, right? So the reason you want to do that is so that you can personalize your approach to them. And so if you understand that person that you're targeting really, really well, you can apply that in your messaging. Let's do this step by step. If you have never shared your URL or domain with me, go ahead and drop it in the chat. I'd like to use it in this next section of our demonstration. If you have used it before, I can continue to use it in this example. This is a new lesson, so we're not going to be covering the exact same thing that we did before. Go ahead and drop it in the chat if you haven't before. What we want to do is drill down into who is our target audience, use them for the prospecting effort, and then we want to use AI to help us improve our model so we get the most effective conversions. If you got a domain name, drop it in the chat. We'll use it, even if you have used it before, because we're doing a completely different lesson this time. Well, I wouldn't say completely. Some of the fundamentals are always going to be the same. I'd have no problem with helping everybody make their website better, make their business better. That's really why I'm here, right? I like to use real websites. All right. You didn't volunteer. I'm going to have to use one of my, let's see, I can use one of mine or I can use one of my customers. Let's use one of mine. All right, let's go ahead and go to one of our favorite OG LLMs. I'm always in here. I'll probably speak to this thing 10 times a day. It's on my Mac as a desktop app. I'm always conversing with my friend ChatGPT. And by the way, it's funny because they have all of these are new things now. They so they have what they call today's pulse. This is really helpful because it'll help you keep iterating and doing things, right? Matthew shared his, we'll use yours. Let me drop a prompt in here. I always like to start with this prompt because you have to train your thread if you've never done this exercise before with your with knowledge of your business. This is the easiest way to do that. You can just drop in a link and tell it, set the context. Let me make this a little bigger. All right. You are a digital marketing expert specializing in website analysis, SEO, and AEO. For the purposes of improving engagement and conversions, review this URL, give me a comprehensive review and suggested improvements. All I'm asking it to do is, hey, go take a look at this website or URL and tell me what you think. This is a real simple task. All it's going to do is read the text. It'll read metadata. It's totally impartial as to what it thinks about whatever you give it. Okay. I have your AI strategy guy.com. And now let's go ahead and kick that off and let it roll. It's going to start doing that. SEO and AEO. What is it? SEO stands for search engine optimization. What is Pulse? Pulse is it's just a new feature within ChatGPT. It's not like it is not anything that I am doing. That is just a feature function there. Actually, we'll do two of them since we have another volunteer. So this is essentially walking through that website and giving back some information. As you said, you're just starting with that one, I would assume. And it's telling you what to fix quickly, recommend a certain hero structure. Your offer isn't packaged, so visitors, so it's giving you kind of like a real feedback on it quickly. We'll let that one run. Let me duplicate this page and let's kick off another one. And we'll drop both of them in here. We'll run both of them. Why not? We're having fun tonight. Let's go crazy. All right, let me get the prompt in here. And let's start a new chat. I will replace this one with Venus. There we go. Do I have it in there? I think I have it in there. And we'll see what that is before we run it. Let's see if we have enough text on this first page. Yep, we do. We kind of looked at it. I remember this one. All right, cool. All right, so we can drop this in. This will be a good as part of our next conversation. And so we'll replace this here. Yeah, I see that. I did see that, by the way. Let's drop that in there and review this URL. So we'll have it take a second look. By the way, as I mentioned last week, you can always run this prompt every quarter to see where you are and continue to grow things. We can do that. I'll drop that in there. If you want to, the best way to be able to do that video process on your own, you can sign up for the free trial of buildbiz.ai. You get 7 days to play with it. Look for the tool called AI Spokesperson. You can upload your photo, you can upload your voice, and so you can train it. Now, it will cost you some tokens to or credits to be able to do that. Just be aware of that. Have it help you write the script, or you can use ChatGPT like we did last week. I mentioned earlier, you may not have been on, but the recording for lesson 2 did not record properly. I'm gonna have to redo lesson 2. We're actually on lesson 3 today. Today I'm focusing on a slightly different topic, but I will re-record lesson 2 and get that out to everybody. That's just technology. Sometimes that one was user error on my part. Let's take a look at what it came up with for yours. This is the right one. Nope, this is your AI strategy guy. Let's take a look at your new updates. Your homepage leads with global health and IT solutions and mainly sells a free nursing course. But you also mentioned IT consulting as a service. Even if you offer multiple services, you want to make sure wherever you're having them land is what they're going to expect. If they're coming here for that nursing masterclass, great. If you've been marketing the 6-week nursing boot camp, don't send them to your homepage. Send them right to that 6-week nursing boot camp page, right? The idea is direct them on whichever way you want them to go. Focus on clear messaging, one thing at a time. It's okay to have multiple things offered in your services, but when they land on your page, you're hero section needs to focus on one thing, and then you can gradually add more. So, say, here's all my services, but that first page, pick the most important thing. I think we talked about the boot camp being the most important thing. I can't remember, but just think about that. And if you want to set up a call with me, I think I dropped my links in here before, my contact links, so you can go ahead and just reach out. We drop my calendar link in there so you can put a call on there. We can talk about specifically the things that you need to get done. All right, SEO fixes. As far as the cost, it's a credit-based system. So 1,000 credits is $6.99. You can buy a ton of them for $29. The regular AI video is like 50 credits to create a video each time you generate one. The spokesperson is more expensive because it uses more compute. It can be a couple hundred credits. It could be 1,000 credits. How it decides that is how long your script is. The longer your script, the more credits it uses. It'll tell you before you generate the audio how much it's going to cost, and how much before you generate the video. It gives you an estimate. Plan on spending, $20, $30 to create your video. Just be aware of that. If you have any problems, just send me a text. Upgrades. Win ChatGPT. You already have an FAQ section. Now make it AEO ready. So you can do a simple prompt. Actually, I don't even have to do the prompt. It's telling you right here. So what you want to think of, okay, I did SEO. SEO is search engine optimization, which is what Google uses, keywords. This is how people used to find your website. When they search, they'd have to include a word that would trigger Google to point them to your page among 1,000 other people. And how you ranked was how well you played that game. That has kind of gone by the wayside a little bit. It's still there, don't get me wrong. Google is still king of the search. But now AI allows us to communicate directly to these large language models. And this is where I search for things. I don't ever use google.com to search for things anymore. I'm in ChatGPT. I want to know anything. I ask the AI, and that conversation that I'm having with the AI extends to how the AI will find your website. It's conversational. So you have to have the answer to the question that somebody just asked the AI so that it can recommend your business or service. When you design your FAQs, the content on your website has to be AI friendly, AI engine optimization. It has to be friendly towards the AI, and then you have to show authority. You have to show that you have a lot of content on your website that explains why it should recommend you. There is no such thing as too little, too much content, right? You want to not repeat yourself, of course. You want to have a maximum of the times you mention something other than your call to action. Your call to action, you do want to repeat down the page. You can just change the wording a little bit. But the content that the AI is going to judge, are you the right person? That is where you want to do that. Those credits are no joke. I don't know if you've ever played with HeyGen or any of the other bigger video creation spokesperson tools. This is a cheap bargain, trust me. Those tools cost you 40, 50, $100, $200 a month. This is nothing compared to that. And that's why I give a free trial so everybody can play with it. Let's go back to what we were building here. It's telling you what you should immediately add, right? If it's not there, it's only looking at this one page. If you have it somewhere else, it does not see that. So you have to use it frequently. You can take that same prompt, point it at your about page, point it to your bootcamp page, so that it'll give you critiques on each page and how you can make them better. If the information is on another page, it just won't see it. Just be aware of that. It's talking about a short about section. Even on your homepage, it's telling you what you want to have. And remember, if you have this information, a short version, just a little paragraph about you, the founder story, all of these things on your homepage, this is where people are landing. You do want to have it there, all right? That's the important thing. As you do multiple pages, having a short section on FAQs on each page related to that topic. FAQs on your homepage about everything. FAQs on the bootcamp page specifically about the bootcamp. FAQs about contact us if it's a physical location, things like that. If your training is somewhere, put those FAQs on there. And again, that helps the AI because it'll follow your tree of your website. It will learn about you, but you want to get that stuff on the homepage is what it's telling you. Okay, we've got that. And the same thing with this review for the AI guy. It's telling you pretty much the same things. You have to build out more content, FAQs, If you're doing something locally, it wants you to build out that section there. It's giving you priority checklists of all of those things. And I'll share these URLs with you so that you'll have them. And I'll share the chat threads with you as we use them. So now that we've got the beginning of this started, the next thing we want to do is get this targeted. I want to stay cognizant of my time. Let's start targeting our persona for prospecting. We just ask, there's a lot of prompts, and I'm going to do a very short version of this. There is a lengthy prompt we normally do. If you come to our AI training, we teach you how to build a comprehensive flow where you can get all of the information put together for you, but I'm going to give you an abridged version of it tonight. All right. Now I want you to help me build my perfect target persona or avatar. Give me a comprehensive person with demographics, their main pain points, things for them on a good day and a bad day, and essentially everything I need to know about them so I can include them in my marketing. I didn't have to reset the context because I did that in the first prompt, right? Now I'm going to just ask it to help me. I'm going to put this in here and let's talk about the perfect persona. It's going to do its thing and fleshed out who this person that would be interested in my persona is. In this case, the AI gave me Marcus, 38 to 70, and it's giving me some specifics. Again, it's making this up from your services. Now, what I would recommend, and I gave you this link already, is a tool called the Big Dream Generator. Some of you are aware of this tool, some of you are not. BuildBiz.ai is free to start. I would go in there that first day, download the books. Here's the link to the site, this website here. Start your free trial. I would download the books. I would go to the Big Dream Generator, which is this tool here. Fill this out with your vision, what your business is all about. Take your time with this. We do an exercise in the training called the interview methodology, where we ask up to 13 questions or so, and they're all in here, right? We help you do this quickly, smoothly. When you're done with this, you'll have a business brief. Now you've taken your vision, put it on paper. Even if you have an existing business, you want to do this. Why? Because we start businesses and we really don't necessarily think it through. A lot of people start a business without a business plan. At least have a business brief. That's what will help you, especially if you have multiple businesses. Create a business brief. This will give you, that's the first one here, and it'll talk about what they need help with. All right. This is their good day, what's going on, their bad day, problems that they're having, their fears, their desires, and the buying psychology. You get all of this from a couple of sentences. It's amazing. And it makes you think, okay, I'm going to reach out to this person. What do they need to hear? This removes you as a bottleneck. We start with one automation that pays for itself. No tech overwhelm. These are the things that you want to have. And these are all of the tones and things like that. Again, you want to have what's called an elevator pitch, which means somebody says, hey, what do you do? You want to be able to say in one or two sentences everything they need to know about your business to be intrigued. You need to work on that. You need to memorize it, right? And everybody is guilty of that. What do you do in your business? Here's the target persona, I think the overwhelmed nurse. This is something that we talked about already. You even educated me a little bit about some of the NCLEX, NICLEX. I forgot what you call this already. We talked about this last time when we were creating the video. I do remember. These are some of the things you don't want to say out loud. These are all the personal personas, all right? So now that we've got to get the persona, we want to create a business brief. There's a process we normally go through, but we're going to speed this through. I'm going to ask for a business brief and a product brief. We're going to combine it. I'm going to ask quickly here. Give me a business brief and a product brief that I can use to begin my prospecting. Include the channels that I should consider for my marketing and posting using the above perfect avatar. It's real simple. process, right? We're just following along a flow. Right now, it's creating for me my business brief, who we target, the problems we solve, our positioning, what's going to make us unique, how we add value, and the call to action, right? These are all the things that it's put together in it. And it's talking about our target audience and how we sell to them and the offer that we're going to make. One of the things that I always like people to do is whatever offers it gives you in the first case, we want to iterate on that. We want to keep working it until we find the perfect offer or atomic offer, Godfather offer. They can't refuse. It's so good, right? And so this is talking about the content pillars. You're going to use it all over your website. One sentence positioning. I help established business owners use AI to eliminate bottlenecks, stop missed leads, and create systems that run without constant oversight. Yeah, a little bland, but it does say what you do, right? It's kind of factual, if you will. And then here are a business brief. This is for the global health one, and it's laying it out. Some of the stuff we looked at last week. I think we did create one last week. It's also fun as you update your website, as it pulls more information. You can get better and better at this. It's telling you in this scenario who you should be targeting and where. It's telling you TikTok, email, Instagram, okay? It's suggested ways that you should reach out. Facebook groups, paid growth, ads. It's telling you what to avoid for this avatar. This is interesting. LinkedIn, wrong. That's interesting because I would have thought finding professional nurses in LinkedIn would be a good target. I would read through that and go back to the logic. Why are you saying LinkedIn is the wrong emotional context? Overly clinical language, hustle and grind messages, long form academic generic motivational quotes. If you passed your test but still feel overwhelmed on the floor, this free masterclass shows you how confident nurses actually think and communicate without burnout. Not bad. This one is a little better than the other suggested one-liner. I think this is why it is saying don't use LinkedIn because LinkedIn is more business, but I think you could get away with it in LinkedIn personally. But what they're going for here is more the emotional. A higher percentage of nurses are female. So what it's telling you is don't use logic in your marketing. Go after emotion. That I do agree with. By the way, buyers in general are female, so that does help your cause as well. It's telling you, reach out to the emotion. Don't worry about the logical approach. And that's pretty interesting. And so it can give you specific things that you can do, building out your campaign calendar, writing ad hooks, and so on. This is how AI can help you just speed through this whole process. It's like, boom, right? You're all the way through, okay? I'm going to give you the whole thread for all of these prompts. I'll make sure you can get that. Absolutely. So now that we have built out our persona, we've built out some of the highlights of what we want to do from a marketing point of view. What I would do is for each one of these, for the first one, it suggested LinkedIn. LinkedIn is great because you can pay for Sales Navigator if you're doing outreach manually. You can target exactly who you want. You can have the LLM help you find that exact title, that persona you want to go after. Then you could build a direct messaging campaign around that. So I could tell it, give me a 30-day posting calendar, give me my script, and then give me my email sequences. I'm not going to do paid ads yet. I can say, give me these and just drop that in there and boom, it's on its way. Same thing for this one. I can say, give me my DM scripts for TikTok and Instagram, and then build me a 30-day content. Same thing. I'm not going to do any paid ads yet, but obviously that's the next thing. But I'm going to start with just the free stuff, or relatively free. Again, join the groups, nurses and organizations, local groups, participate in the chamber. I'm part of the Atlanta Black Chamber. I'm part of a couple of chambers. I participate every Tuesday if you're in the Atlanta area. It's fantastic because you get free networking. It's called Tuesday Talks. It's at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, and there's just 300 people on there every Tuesday. You're in the chat just talking about your services and things. You can do that for free. Do that multiple places and you're going to start building the authority that, hey, you know what you're talking about. That's what we're doing right now, finding ways to outreach. Week one, I see your problem. Most business owners don't have a lead problem, they have a follow-up problem. The hidden cost of missed calls. DM me missed if you want the fix, right? It's giving you exactly what you should be just in those groups throwing these things out. Some groups don't like marketing, so you have to be careful with that or you'll get kicked out by the administrator. But if you're just posting things, you could just create little short video reels. Your face doesn't have to be in them, and you can just throw these out there and post them. These are all things. You can ask it to give you 10 scripts for posts and then drop them into the tool in the platform we talked about and demoed last week called AI videos. You can just put a text script that the AI gives you in there and run it. It just has to be text. It doesn't have to have anything fancy. It can be super simple and get people's attention, right? Same thing with just posting text in those DMs. This one is for the nurses. This one is the warm. Hey, quick note, I saw your comment. This is you participating. I saw your comment. Now they know you are a part of the group. You're a peer. That transition to bedside nursing can feel way heavier than anyone admits. Wait for a reply. If they reply, then you go on to the next one. It's a soft call to action, right? If it helps, I host a short free masterclass for new nurses. You want me to send it? Again, asking permission, opt in. Now they're not threatened that you are one of them. You've been in the group for 8 months. They see you posting and commenting, right? Participation. And then same thing, cold but contextual direct message. Hey, hope this isn't random. I work with nurses. I noticed you're early in your career. How has the bedside? And again, you engage them and so on and so forth. All the stuff that you can just kind of do and then iterate, do it a different way. Ask it, okay, I did that one for 2 or 3 weeks. I need more, I need better, and just iterate with it. You can actually have it write the scripts. Remember, I mentioned you can have it write the real scripts. And then you can have that AI spokesperson in there. Have a kid read your script. Kids are hilarious. People respond to them. All those baby videos all over the place. You can use the little girl, right? Challenge them with a little girl, saying, my mom is a nurse. I don't see her. She works 24 hours on some shifts. And it's hard. She just graduated, passed the test, but now she tells me all the time she's tired. So don't be like my mom, or here's what helped my mom, right? And then give a soft call to action to it. There's lots of ways that you can engage people. First, give them something meaningful. You are the experts. Let's say you have a class you're teaching and you have 1,000 tips over all your courses. Each week, post one of those tips. Just give it away for free. Every week, give away one for free. Every 2, 3 days, give away one for free. This builds you as the authority in that space. It doesn't cost you anything to post a free tip or trick or something that you learned. I created this course because I suffered this way. Then I solved it, and now I'm going to share it with you for free. You give those away. People engage with that. Then you say, by the way, I have a class, I have a course. Come check me out. People will find your business that way, but you have to take that time. And it's a call. The sales ladder starts with a lead magnet. Lead magnet can be anything. Last week we talked about a quiz. You can drop a quiz out there where people can come learn something for free. The idea is you give something away for free. It can be a PDF, it can be a book. You have the free master class, exactly what you need. Give that away. Get them into your ecosystem. And then you gradually increase the offer. You say, okay, this is $29.95. This is $295. This is $595. This is $2,995. One-on-one mentoring, you, me, we work together, share love. Okay. That's the kind of thing you want to do. Can you go over how to make videos with your software? Yes, actually, I don't have to because I've done it so many times and it is all recorded. If we go back into the Build Biz platform and we go into AI Lunch and Learn, you will see in here there's classes on all kinds of things. This is the one we did on, let's see, this was the 25th. I'm gonna go back here a little bit. Pardon me, folks. Okay, so training. In the BuildBiz platform, you can find, let's see, UGC. There we go. Tuesday, April 22nd, I talked about AI videos in UGC. Thursday, we talked about it again. UGC is user-generated content, same thing as spokesperson. You can just do a Control F or Command F. I should have it in here. It's not coming up directly with that one, but I need to put more keywords in here. Scroll down, you'll see it where I talk about creating a video and all the things that are used to that. This one was on lesson, this was December 9th. This was on creating a lead magnet. 25th was automation. When I redo that video on the spokesperson, there's a bunch of them in here. I've done that training of how to use that tool multiple times. These are all in here and also on YouTube. If I go to YouTube, my channel, I'll give you the link for that. It's just Digital Express AI. You can actually give that to the AI and have it search for any kind of AI spokesperson training. And the AI ChatGPT can find it. It'll search through all the transcripts and find them. These are a lot of the lessons and videos that are here as well. Same thing. You can do searches here, try to drill down into it and see if I said word spokesperson, spoke spokesperson. I can't spell today. Wow, my brain is definitely short circuited. Spokesperson. There's an S in there. I know there's an S in there somewhere. There we go. There's multiple spokesperson training sessions. I'll drop that link in the chat for you. Just watch it as 1.5 or 2 times. You'll find it in there as well. All right. Oh, so much fun. And this is why we do these trainings and that's why I record them so that if somebody asks a question like you just did, I already have a video for you. It's in there, buried in there somewhere. I try to be, when I record the videos, I also put in chapters. So you can jump to the chapter. Let's see, does this one have a chapter? This is 1725. Yeah, more. There you go. AI videos. That's how to create the AI video one. Sorry, we totally got distracted. I apologize. Let's get back to what we're doing today. Anyway, the videos are there, so please go ahead and look for them. So we've knocked down we're at the point now where we have something to get started with, and we have some email. This one has an email. This is the post-call follow-up. And so you're kind of nurturing them. Here's the email trail. Now that you've got your framework laid out, you can tell it, I do want to use email for my outreach. Give me the content for my 3 email campaign using my avatar above, right? Real simple prompt. And all I'm telling it to do is give me a 3 email campaign. You can do 5, 7. Generally speaking, 3, 5, 7 touches as a minimum to get someone's attention in their inbox. That's number one. So you can do these emails manually. That's one way to do them. And I'll give you both threads. I'm going to put this prompt in here as well. And then now I'm going to show you a way to automate that. Okay. The next step is how do we automate? Let's move this out of the way for a second. We created our perfect avatar. We created our way to personalize that email because we've identified their pain points and how we're going to help them. And so now we want to create that actual email sequence and depends on the type of tool that you have access to, which one you should use. Let's go back to the automation. If you're in Go High Level, it is a really powerful tool. It has a built-in CRM, it has marketing, sequencing, websites, sales funnels, very powerful. Also, unfortunately, very high learning curve. But if you happen to be in that ecosystem already, it's a good place to work and operate. If you don't and you're looking for a simpler approach, one of the tools in the BuildBiz platform, let me bring that back up. And the reason why I reference that tool so much is it's a really good platform for finding all of these tools that guide you in the direction you want to go. Here's the training that I mentioned. If you go here, you can go to Lead Biz. We may have touched on it a little bit, but I'll spend a little bit more time in it this week. And so Lead Biz is where you would go to create the automation, and it can do email, voice, text. The most powerful and least expensive is the email. Yeah, we did talk a little bit about this last week. So let's actually do a little work in here. And so the dashboard shows you the effectiveness of your campaigns. The last one I did was 761 emails. I got to get use it in the next couple of weeks for my January launch. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm doing a lot of updates to websites. I'm launching new classes. We've got a whole brand new certification class starting in January. We've got a 2 week certification, a 6 week certification. Those are all coming in January. Look out for emails from us on all that fun stuff. But this particular one, 760 emails sent, 38% open rate. And how did we get that? This tool is an agent that specializes in outreach and answering inbound. You give it a goal, a task, a prompt, and it'll go off and do that prompt until you tell it to stop. Or in your instructions, you say, don't contact them more than 3 times if they don't positively respond and ask for an appointment. In this case, if you're doing an email outreach towards an appointment, or you're doing or towards your boot camp class or an event, you can be very specific with the AI and say, here's the goal, here's what I want you to work on, and keep working on it until I tell you to quit. What if you do not have emails? That's a good question. I don't recommend you buy email lists. I suggest you grow yourself. And the way that you grow it is using the previous part of the lesson, right? Which is participating in groups, DMs, reaching out to people. Maybe you paid a $49 to get upgraded in LinkedIn so you can get Sales Navigator so you can target exactly who you want. The other way is paid advertising. Facebook is relatively inexpensive. You control the budget, tell it I want to spend no more than $10 a day, $100 a week, $200 a month, and you make part of your form. As soon as they have any kind of interest, the first thing they do, especially if you do it in Facebook, it's really cool because they don't have to type it. They just, show an interest, and the form pops up and auto populates their email address and gives it to you. As far as money spent to get an email address, that is the best way because it's actually a qualified lead versus buying a list. You have no idea if it's qualified or not. Usually it's not. That's why I don't recommend buying a list. Going to a trade show. I went to a small business expo here in Atlanta. They have a process called speed networking where you sit down in front of a person, you got 2 minutes to tell them about your business. You can exchange cards physically, or you can exchange cards electronically. I have a little card thing on my phone so I can give them my business card. They give me theirs. You do that, you network that way. Have a form somewhere on your website where you're collecting email addresses. When I left there, there was a table where you could put your business cards on. I literally just went around and collected maybe 200 cards. Now, these are cold leads, obviously, right? They don't know me, but I follow up with people that are warm leads that I exchanged. There was maybe 100 of those because I work hard at my networking. And then I had another 200 cards that are just cold leads. I give those to my nephew, pay him a couple bucks. He enters them into a spreadsheet, and then I import them into here, right? How do you get leads? Go to things, participate in things. That's how you get emails and build your email list. That's my recommended way to do it. The DMs, the free posting, those are also ways. When people reach back out to you, those are the ways. How can I get marketing grants for small business? Ask ChatGPT. It'll give you 100 sources. I love AI. It is the answer to everything. Okay. But yeah, there's also, I'm going to be building a resource hub because some of the people I met did things like that. We did an event maybe a month ago just for nonprofits. And we'll do that every quarter or so. We do something just for nonprofits and show nonprofits how to use AI. We have a training cohort coming up just for nonprofits. Oh, I'm doing this with a partner called Joel Hill. We'll be having a cohort on nonprofit, and we're going to have a formal certification for nonprofits. Oops, go away. Let's see, where is that? Is there a link here for it? Oh, I buried that event. Sorry, I had so many events. that I was part of. But you can reach out to me as well. I gave you my contact information. AIW, AIW, AIW. Oh, here we go. AI Workstation. You see all my links for this one event and partnership that I have here. This was the one we did. So this was the classes. And then we're going to have more starting in January, on the 27th to be more precise. Reach out to me and tell me, hey, I have a nonprofit and I want to participate in the AI class. And I'll make sure you get that email. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked again. Let's finish up where we're going. We want to build. I love, by the way, I'm just teasing, but I really do like people to interact with me in the chat. But I do want to finish this lesson so that everybody can get the recording. What do you do when you get to Lead Biz? You're going to go in, you're going to set it up, and you're going to put in your organizational information, the email address. If you don't have the first time you set it up, you're going to want to use a mail aggregator. Mailgun is the one that I use, but you can use anybody that you like, SendGrid, etc. All of them have what's called an API. And what that API allows is that their functionality can be connected to whatever app you're using. And then between the two of them, it can reach out and send emails on your behalf. You don't want to do this one at a time. If you don't have a big email list, of course you can do it one at a time. If you're going to do it one at a time, here's the most important thing. Don't send the same email to everybody. Send a different email to each person. Just a little bit. The context of your email can be generally the same, but put some sort of personalization in that email. And there's several reasons. One, to get high open rates. The reason that it has such a high open rate is because the AI agent sends a different email to each person. It changes it just enough so that it goes into the inbox instead of the spam and the junk filter. If you send the exact same email to 7,000 people, you're going to get considered a spammer and end up in the junk email. It's going to ruin your email reputation, and people are always going to be saying, I didn't get your email. This happens to me, even though I have a pretty good email reputation, but I do send out a lot of emails. So you just have to walk that line by using an AI agent that creates a different email for each email it sends out. That is the key part of it. If you're doing it manually, just change it up. Put in their name, say where you met them or where you heard about them. Make sure you always give them an unsubscribe option. It is really important that if somebody unsubscribes, you basically delete them. You don't have to delete them from your email list if you have a good CRM system that will automatically not send it to them again. This tool will not send it to them again if they end up in the do not disturb box. But my personal philosophy is they told me they don't want to hear from me. I just delete them from my email list because then that way I don't have to worry about accidentally sending them an email again and making them angry and marking my email as spam. It's just not worth it. They say they don't want to talk to you, they don't want to talk to you. This is done through setting that up. And so when you set it up, you're going to put in your email domain. If you don't have a business email address, you cannot use a personal email address for this type of a project. Okay, you have to get one. If you don't have one, you can buy one in Build Biz. You can buy, so you can just type in email and it tells you here, get business email, and you can go ahead and get it. One service I recommend is Google Workspace. I prefer it over the Microsoft one, even though I'm old school Microsoft. If you look on my desktop, I have Microsoft Outlook, Word, PowerPoint, I have it all. And then I also have a Google Workspace account. Google Workspace is more cost effective for entrepreneurs, small, medium-sized businesses. Microsoft is a great enterprise solution, but for small, medium size, I recommend Google Workspace. Personally, I use it, so I can highly recommend it. If you don't have any business email and you just want to get it, you can get one right here in the platform. You do need that. Then you configure your credit card and your wallet. The way that the pricing works is if you're just sending out, let's see, it should be down here somewhere. This is the email setup. These are the types of things you have to set up. If this is scary to you, just hire us. We have a VA that can work with you for X dollars, depending on the task, and she'll help you set that up. It's pretty easy. How much does it cost? Regular email, 0.0065 per email. You can send 1,000 emails for 65 cents if you are doing what's called a broadcast email. I don't recommend you do that, but you can do it in this system. The other way to do it is AI emails, which are 4 cents per email. Yes, it costs a little bit more, but each email is unique, and that's the beauty of this. And it does inbound. If you send out an email, it has a conversation with that person based on their response. Let's say they have a question. You train up the AI and it knows about you so they can answer that question for you. If it doesn't, it'll pop a note to you, say, hey, help. But generally speaking, it'll answer and it can also schedule for you. You have your Google Calendar in here, right? I can connect my Google Calendar in there. If I have something that I'm selling, I can set up Stripe. These are the integrations you can add to the AI, and it will essentially reach out on your behalf, first of all, with a unique email. It'll handle a response. It'll schedule your calendar based on your calendar, schedule calls for you. It is a really powerful tool in automation. So I can recommend it. It's really easy to use. It only needs three fields to create a contact: the name, the email address, and the phone number. That's all. It doesn't actually allow you to put anything else in there because it's hyper focused. Then you create a new goal. A goal is super simple. You give it a name, you'd say who it's sending it from. You choose a calendar if you're going to use it, or no calendar. You tell it what to do. You want it to not have conversations with new people. And then you give it a prompt. Here's a lengthy prompt. This is an example of me driving someone to a webinar. This may be too long for the prompt, for the chat, but I can try. Let's see. Copy, paste. It's definitely too long. Sorry. But you can take something like this. Let's see if I edit. Let me try something first. Okay. Maybe this would work. So again, context, right? You are a high converting AI sales assistant trained in blah, 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 blah. I'm laying this all out. This may not be more than 1,000 characters. Let's try it. It will not let me paste. What do I got going on? I must have some other window open. Hold on. Whenever you get that, that means you got a window open that's interfering with it. Is it this one? Let me see if I can get rid of this window. Let's try it again. I'm still getting a little beep. It will not let me paste. That is hilariously bad. Send me an email with your email and I'll try to get this whole thing out to you. All right, so this prompt is a typical prompt you'd want to give. It gives very clear directions to the AI, tells it who it's going to be. It's going to be an AI sales assistant trained in blah, blah, blah. You're reaching out to someone who previously registered. Now is the time to reach out to them for the next chapter, right? You tell it what's important that you messaging you want. It's not, you don't tell it exactly what to send. This is not a broadcast email. You give it parameters and you give it some information that it can work with. Who is this for? Ready to try. It's including all of this in there, some bonus information, call to actions. You give them several call to actions and say, hey, work with these. Give it several subject lines, work with those, right? Always give it unsubscribe and then always tell it how many times you want it to contact someone. If you don't tell it, it's brutal. It'll just keep pounding away at people until they unsubscribe. All right. And then you tell it the target list, who you want it to target. And that's really it. Super simple. That creates a goal. And this goal, like I said, 39% open rate. Fantastic in any industry. That is how that works. Just make sure that you are working with this. Let me draw this real quickly here. Hold on a second. And I will send lead biz prompt example. And I will drop this there. And let's see if this whole thing was in here. Let's see. Remember to edit this, of course. This is just an example. All righty, there you go. The really interesting thing about all of this is you do want to give it really good guidance of what you want it to do. Give it example emails, give it tasks that you want, and then keep an eye on it. Once you click this button here, from inactive to active. That's all you got to do. When you want to stop it, just put it as inactive. You can track it. You can see the list that it's working with. You can see the conversations that it's having. This is like an email from August 19th. It sent out this, yeah, it's just, okay, this is a test, right? It's going to go back and forth here. Let me see if I can find a more interesting conversation. It's only going to go back, let's see, wrong list. Let's go to this one, upcoming listing conversation. These are activity feeds here. It gives you exactly what's going on. The person opened email. This is an old list. I don't use this one anymore. That's why this stuff is so out of date. Same thing with the conversations. These are very old ones. I'd have to go way back in time to find anything back and forth more than once or twice. These are all once or twice messages. Anyway, this is where you would see all the conversations. I can go to a different one which is more active. This is, like I said, just a demo account. I don't really use it that much, but I'll show you one next time. We covered the automation piece. This is the part that's really important. If you have this working for you, you can also have it just deal with inbound, right? That's another thing you can do. You could guide people to it and let the AI pick up the conversation. Same thing with in the mentioned here, you can go in here and create a chatbot. So you can create a chatbot. The chatbot's going to be based on a knowledge base that you have. And so this can sit anywhere. This is sitting on my Lead Biz site, and it can answer questions for you. The idea is you're going to do two things. First, you create a knowledge base. Here's an example I was using for the leadbiz.ai. I'm training this chatbot on what is the leadbiz.ai so that it can answer questions. You give it some documents. You can also give it URLs that are examples. I gave it the actual leadbiz.ai URL so it can scan and learn it. I can also upload manual documents. Like, for instance, if I do a training video, I can copy paste the transcript into this manual document. I can put in Word document style stuff, spreadsheet style stuff under files, right? That's a Word doc. Those are 3 Word docs. This one was for a bookkeeper. These are some PDFs that she had written. And then here's the website links she was using. You can put that information in. Remember, each one, like if you're teaching it your website, you have to do the main website link, you have to do the blog, you have to do each URL as a URL. So it learns your whole website. When people ask a question, if the information is on your website, the chatbot will be able to answer it. First, you create that knowledge base, and then you go back to the chatbot itself. I'm going to create a chatbot. As part of creating the chatbot, I can give it the information. Then I can tell it I want a logo. What is it going to use for the image on the bottom? How is it going to welcome people? Do I want to connect email? The chatbot is another great way to collect email addresses. If somebody has a question, they're going to trade you their email address so you can reach them, obviously, right? You collect their email address, answer their question, and make sure you keep in touch with them. Simple. Chatbots are great for that. So then from there, I'm going to set up the AI. I'm going to give it a prompt, and then I'm going to give it a knowledge base. That's really it. So easy to do. And then once I've done those things, trained it up, gave it a general prompt of how it should act and behave, the next thing is I want to take this content, this script, and copy it to my clipboard. If you know how to edit on your website, you can drop this in yourself. It's just an HTML code, a real simple embed code. Or if you don't have your website person do this for you, and you will end up with a little chat bot on your website page. If I log out from here, where's the sign out button? There it is. Let's see. Let's go back to leadbiz.ai. There we go. You have the leadbiz.ai, and you got my little chat bot here in the corner. First thing it does is ask for your email address, and that's all I had to do is take that snippet, paste it in here, and then it will effectively talk to me. As soon as I save that, it'll ask me a question. How do I send emails? That's a chatbot I created in the BuildBiz.ai platform. One of the other things you can do is tell it if it doesn't know the answer or can't help the person, make sure it lets you know immediately as you start using the chatbot. If it doesn't know the answer, you can also, where was I? Oh, here we go, my little chatbot. You can show that the conversation is happening live here, and then you can answer, right? If you happen to be in the chatbot, you can answer the question for the person. You'll get the information, email address, and so on and so forth that you can deal with. So this is one of those things where you can kind of build that out. Anyway, I'm supposed to be doing training on lead generation. I'll pause here, see if there's any final questions for this week. All right, everyone. I look forward to you scheduling a call. I'll share my contact information one last time for anybody that jumped in late. Most importantly, I got to share these share links. The link has been copied. All right, so this is the AI guy one, and this is the nursing training one. It's working on it. There we go. Link has been copied. Let me drop these out. I do have to go. Somebody's ringing my doorbell. Probably just a delivery. All right, everyone. I want you to have a fantastic rest of your day. This has been a lot of fun. Did you get the link? All right, everyone. I will talk to you later. Bye bye. Have a great weekend and holiday if I don't speak to you again, because we won't be doing one of these until the new year. All right, everyone. Bye bye.